Traders, I want to welcome you to today's launch webinar for the VWAPPER ALGO. My name is Sean Kozak and I will be your host today. Just a couple groundkeeping rules before we get started. First and foremost, we are recording the event, so we will send out a recording post-webinar. We do answer questions, however, during the event while I'm going through the topics. Just put the questions in the chat box, and when I get a chance to read them at the end of the event, we'll spend some time for Q&A. If I don't get to them right away, I'm not ignoring you. I haven't forgotten about you. I'm just staying focused on the topics at hand. And then that way we can give a more detailed presentation. Please note as well, guys, that we are not here for financial advice. The disclaimers in this industry are standard. We don't give advice. We're not here. We have no interest in your trades. We're not advisors or brokers. We're not managing your money. So if you do place risk capital in the markets, do so at your own discretion. And also, if you understand past performance never guarantees future results. So now that we've talked about that, let me talk a little bit about you guys. I want to appreciate your patience for the launch of this because a lot of you guys have been asking for it and asking questions. We wanted to spend as much time as possible getting the VWAPPER ready. I'm going to spend some time in this event talking about why this system could be maybe one to rule them all, and I'll explain why in a little bit. And it's a pretty bold statement, but I want to talk about the differences between this algo and every other algo that we've released and why it's absolutely necessary. You know, we don't just build products for the sake of building products. We build products to solve problems, and the VWAPPER solves a huge problem, and we're going to talk about that today. So this is fully automated, multi-time frame VWAPPER. And let's kind of go through an agenda, okay, just so you guys understand the topics we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to quickly introduce myself for those of you that don't know who I am or my team. We're going to spend some time going over the man versus machine discrepancy, why NSTA algos are superior, and then we're going to talk about day and swing and how you could use this type of trading for day trading and scalping, intraday swing trading, or even swing trading at large, depending on your outlook. We're going to talk about the use of bar type logics and how you could leverage any type of bar type in the algo in itself. We're going to break down the rules to the system. We're going to break down the rules to what the VWAPPER was designed to do and how to leverage momentum if you're using it. We're going to talk about testing and optimization and money management, trade management, and algo deployment. We're going to talk about examples, and I'm going to explain the concepts as to why the VWAPPER solves the biggest problem in the algo space, because the markets are dynamic and you need a system that accommodates both trend and reversal trading. And we're going to talk about that today. Okay. You guys with me? Give me a yes. You guys are ready to rock and roll. I want to make sure you guys are awake. Johnny on it. And let's get started. How many of you guys are excited? Maybe you can post in the chat room where you're from, you know, what you like to trade. Let everybody know who you are. My name is Sean Kozak. I'm the founder of NeuroStreet, and I've got no time for bullshit. No fluff, no snake, no false hopes. Not here to guys string you along. I'm just here to give you the facts, right? We take trading very seriously. We've been in this industry for a very long time. My team and I are very dedicated to the success of our students. And when it comes to trading, it's your money, it's your bank account, it's your livelihood. So when it comes to developing products and systems, the key here to understand is that I understand what trading's like. I know what it's like to take wins and losses. I know what it's like to trade large accounts, small accounts, real accounts, sim accounts, hedge fund accounts, right? These things are very important. For those of you that don't know, I managed a $1.4 million hedge fund on Collective 2. And then I stopped right before COVID. So I know what it's like to trade, guys. I know what it's like. Most of my experience comes from system development, software development, architectural design. And I've got some great traders running our trading rooms, helping most of our traders succeed on a daily basis. Now, the key here, though, is it's not just about products. So let me just talk about it. Everybody out there buys indicators and buys trading systems and buys things to hopefully find the next holy grail. That doesn't exist here. What does exist here is that we provide tool sets that are very effective, and it's our job to make sure you know how to use them. And then it's your job to make sure you practice and understand how to deploy them so that you can do so in live markets. This system and this process works time and time again for whether it's an indicator, an algo, a trade room, or a trade system. It's proven. We have a lot of successful students. So the key here is that if you have a question, or if you need help, or if you're not sure about something, or you want to speak to somebody, my team and I have an open door policy. We're an email or a phone call away. We don't hide behind a website or a support desk. If we need to get on your computer, we will, etc. Give me a yes that you guys are with me, in it to win it. This makes sense. Can you guys agree that if you have questions, you'll ask? Because if you don't ask, we can't help you, right? We can't help you succeed. And that's the goal, okay? So, man versus machine. With all the stuff that's going on in the crypto metaverse and the universe and the cryptoverse and the algoverse, and there's a lot of computer stuff going on out there. The world's changing, let me tell you. But when it comes to day trading, there's only two ways you can do it. You can do it, or you can program a computer to do it. And there's pros and cons to both, but I'm going to talk to you as to why algo trading can be a huge benefit done correctly. Okay, and the reason I say done correctly is that algos are not meant to be just turned on and just, oh, I've got a money-making printing machine for a bunch of Benjamins. And I understand that concept because I know a lot of traders, they think that if you have a winning system, you just turn it on, it's going to win for the rest of your life until eternity. Well, if that was the case, we would sell it to the biggest hedge fund in the world, and you and I would never be in this webinar right now, right? So let me talk a little bit about algo trading and why it's necessary. Most traders struggle with human interference. How many of you guys have missed trades, or you find that you're trading too many strategies, or sometimes you don't have a trading plan, or you have incorrect back testing because you think your setups are working really well. You go back and you only see the winners, but you don't really pay attention to all the losers and what that would have done. You know, the problem here is that you are putting yourself on the line and you're responsible for your success. Now, here's the key. There's a lot of successful retail traders. Okay, there's a lot of successful retail traders that trade discretionarily. So it's not that discretionary trading is bad. It's just that majority of traders aren't good at it. Not that they won't succeed or that they can't be good at it. It's just the truth of the matter is that most people get in the way. There's nothing wrong with that. We're programmed like that from birth. We're programmed to make decisions, to think logically, to act, and to get involved with an emotional decision-making process. But that's the problem with trading, is because trading is not an emotional decision-making process. Life is an emotional decision-making process. Life is about logic and right and wrong and effort and action, right? A lot of traders think that the more work you put into trading, the more money you'll make. But that's not the key. You just need to be a better trader to make more money. So why would we automate? Well, first of all, it's going to help you with execution, which is a huge problem for most traders. It's definitely more accurate when programmed correctly because it's following logic. You're not using emotions to execute or manage trades. You're using computer logic to manage and execute trades, which makes the systemized process more obtainable because you can backtest and you can optimize to build confidence. Let me get the elephant out of the room. Backtesting and optimization is not live trading. Backtesting and optimization is done to build trust so that when you move into live trading, you have a better edge than 90% of discretionary traders. Does that mean that you won't have a loss? No. Does that mean you're going to have strings of wins? Yes. Does it mean you're going to have to keep an eye on what your algo is doing when conditions change? Absolutely. But it's going to remove you from the equation, and you're not going to get in the way of letting the job be done by the computer. Now, that means you need to know how to be mechanical and set the algos up. And that's where NeuroStreet comes in. Our job is to help you deploy the algos with tested settings and templates and parameters that we spend months checking and verifying before we change things and before we update and monitor, right? So this is where we come in, because I spent a lot of time before we launched an algo deployment arm of the company. In fact, we've been in this business for a long time, and there was a huge demand for algos. How many of you guys like algos? Give me a yes. Well, you're in an algo event, so I would assume that the answer is yes. But how many of you guys like automated systems, automated trading, robotic trading, trading bots, these types of things, right? There's a need for it. But what I found in this industry, and this is just me from a business owner's perspective, talking to the users such as yourself, is that there's a huge gap in this industry between good trading systems and good price points, right? There's some good algos out there, and there's some great companies out there that do deploy some good trading systems. However, they're charging $15,000 a system. They're charging through the roof. And the problem is that it's not sustainable, because, to be honest, like, who in here wants to drop 15 grand on an automated system? I sure as heck don't. How many of you guys would agree with me that we don't need that? Give me a yes that it's better to not have that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to show you why we can trump all of that. First and foremost, we work with 5 development companies, not one programmer, 5 development companies, right? We have expert coders, right? We're known for software development. When we build systems that you're not put yourself into a black box simultaneously, because if you want to run a black box, we can do that. But we also give you the flexibility to use the systems for day trading, scalping, swing trading, etc. When we launch systems, we try to make sure that the systems can be used on more than one market. Why? Because we want to be able to give the flexibility so that the system is sustainable across global assets. We stress test it on different risk parameters. We incorporate custom bar types with every one of our algos. So when you use our algos, it comes with custom bar types. And what we do is we build an automated testing component into the system so that you can not only just trade the systems, but you have an automated testing component right into the algo. Now, this system is based off multi-time frame VWAP and volatility. And I'm going to talk about how volume alone is not enough and volatility alone is not enough. You need the combination. We've got bar direction and reversal logic built into the filters. We've got momentum and confluence logic. We've got trend and reversal components. One of the things that we do is that we implement pullback analysis. We implement reversal analysis, management for stops and targets, multiple quantities and exits, trailing stops, break evens, filters, blockers, risk and reward money management. Everything that we do with an automated system is built into the engine so that it's a one-stop shop. Okay. And what's really nice about this is it allows us to keep everything under one roof. You're not having to use different software to test systems and then deploy different algos. It's all built internally. Now, when you look at this, it's like a Ferrari. Like, if you're going to drive a Ferrari, right, it's because it's got everything. And every one of our systems has everything in it. The only difference is the way the system's designed and the system logic. So let me kind of talk a little bit about VWAPPER. Okay. How many of you guys are familiar with the VWAP? Can you guys give me a yes if you know what the VWAP is? VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. Does everybody understand why VWAP is important? And this is really one of the biggest aha moments for this system is it's not a random tool. This is not a random indicator. VWAP is used as the benchmark for institutional money because they use the VWAP to balance the books on funds, meaning if price is above VWAP or below VWAP will dictate how institutions move money around that day. And they use VWAP as an average volume weighted average price point so that they can scale in and out of big blocks of business. So essentially VWAP is the #1 tool used by institutions as a benchmark for making decisions. This is not an indicator average. This is not an order flow tool set. This is what the big boys rely on. Why? Because it's their mandate. It's actually written in some of their fund documentation and prospectus that they can only balance positions according to certain parameters on the 100, the 200 EMAs, and the VWAPs. So if anybody in here is curious as to why the VWAP is critical, it's because it's not just an indicator that we've said, hey, let's use the VWAP. It's probably one of the most important indicators used by the biggest traders in the industry. Okay. Now, the cool thing about what we've done is we have the ability to use multi-time frame VWAP. So what does that mean? We can use the VWAP based off the daily volume weighted average price. We can use the VWAP based off of the weekly volume weighted average price and the monthly. Okay, now I'm going to give a word of a disclaimer here. For the past 4 weeks, as I was in surgery and after I got out of surgery, I spent literally 4 weeks testing all of the templates that we're going to be releasing for the VWAP on the daily VWAPPER. I haven't even had a chance to go into the weeklies and the monthlies, and I can't wait to, because the weekly VWAP is some significant levels. And this is what's really exciting about the VWAPPER moving forward into Christmas and into the January trading periods, is I'm really excited for what Roy and the team and I are going to be able to do with the VWAPPER. It's some seriously cool trading. Now that allows you to be a day trader and a swing trader. And it also allows you to be flexible with how you want to run your algos. Okay. Here's the cool part. You could be a day trader on swing trading levels, and that's the power of the VWAP. It's no different than you could trade a 4-hour chart, but on a 1-minute time frame, right? You could look at 4-hour levels and trade a 1-minute scalping strategy and be very, very effective. And that's what we can do here with volume weighted average price. Okay. Now, a couple things before I get into the system rules and the concepts around this is that every one of our algos leverages the ability to use any type of bar types. So whether you're looking at time, volume, tick, range, Renko, but what we've done is we've incorporated Renko bars into every one of the algos that we release, because a lot of traders like to use the systems on custom bar types. Most of the day trading space, especially for futures and Forex, like custom Renko bars because it allows for smoother charting, it allows for smoother price action, a little bit easier to use for reading divergence. But the problem with custom bar types is that they mask real price data, which means when you use a Renko bar, a lot of times it will hide true prices. And when you run a back test on Renko charts, and if you do not understand how that works, it can skew your back test and it can give you incorrect back testing. So what we've done is we built an internal fill algo that bypasses phantom bars, and it executes at the real price data points, regardless if you have the Renkos on or not. So our algos override the bar types, which has never been done in this industry. In fact, there's a lot of vendors that will talk about you have to use a different bar type for back testing and then a different bar type for live trading. We've solved that problem. So this is a benefit to using our bar type logic, and the reason why we provide bars with every one of our systems. Okay. Now, this is the fun part. This is where I get to explain the meat. So if you came for dinner, I'm about to serve you the steak. Okay. How many of you guys like steak? If you're vegetarian, I get you some tofu. Want to make sure you guys are Johnny on it. Got to have a little fun with it, right? Got to have a little fun with it. Trading is a business, but if we're not laughing, we're not having fun with it. Where's the beef? Exactly. Can't chew it, Casey says. Lobster, please. Rich is a fish guy. Fantastic. Right. You know, I just got an air fryer not too long ago. My girlfriend and I have been cooking with an air fryer. The best salmon I ever had in my life. If you've never had salmon, try it in an air fryer. It's fantastic. All right. Back on track, guys. VWAPPER. The VWAPPER is designed from V0 to V3. And I'm going to go through this very, very slowly. I'm going to explain this. It's very, very important that you understand what we're going to show here today, because this is the backbone to everything we talk about. Okay. First of all, we're going to be looking at reversals using standard deviation. We're going to be looking at VWAP trend signals. This is a hybrid system. Now, this is the biggest problem solver that everybody needs, because the Delta algo, really great order flow system, Trend stepper, really great trend indicator based system. What is the common thread between the Delta algo and the trend stepper? They're both trend systems. So in trending markets, everybody loves trending systems. But what happens on reversals? What happens on the days when the market's not trending? Everybody understand the problem? Can you guys give me a yes if you've had that problem? I've had that problem. Everybody that's run algos has that problem. If you try to trade a trend system in a non-trending day, everybody hates life. Okay. So when Roy and my dev team and we said, listen, we need to have a hybrid system that allows to be able to accommodate both. So when we're looking at the VWAPPER, I'm going to explain how the trend signals work. And then I'm going to explain how the reversal signals work, because you have the ability to run all signals, or you can tell the system to just run trend trades, or you can tell the system to just run reversal trades, or you can do a combo system. And this is what's really, 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 really cool about the VWAPPER. Okay. Now, the difference with the VWAPPER is that it's not just based off volume weighted average price. What we've done is we've built a stepping algo, and this is what takes the VWAPPER to a whole new level. And I'm going to explain what the stepping algo is. First and foremost, we have filters that block signals, which means we can permit so many trades off each level, because this is a levels-based system. This is not an indicator-based system. This is an areas-based system, meaning support and resistance based off volume and volatility. So you can tell the system to trade one trade off each level, two trades off each level. You can avoid retest. You could trade multiple trades off each level. And that's what we've done with the ability to block trades to avoid whipping. It works on every market because VWAP applies to every single market. It works on all time frames and fractals, and it's impossible to do what we do with it on your own. There's no way you can do it. So let me kind of show you an example of what step logic means. Okay. I'm going to use two different markets. We're going to use the S&P and we're going to use the Russell. Okay. Just these two examples. Okay. The S&P moves less than the VWAP or than the Russell, correct? You're going to have more volatility on the Russell most of the time than you will on the S&P. Would you guys agree with that? Same thing with crude or gold, right? So RTY, CL, gold, right? The NASDAQ, these markets move more. The ES, the Euro, these markets move a little less, right? Sometimes these. So let me ask you a question. If you know that these markets are different, if you've got price action going like this, okay, and you've got a VWAP going through like this, and then you've got another market that does this, and then you've got a VWAP that goes like this, what's the similarity between the two? The VWAP. Okay, the VWAP is the common thread. Every market has VWAP. Every market uses VWAP. What's the difference between the two charts? If VWAP is the common denominator, what's the difference? What's the differentiator? Range, Stephen says, volatility, distance, movement. So this is the key. Every market moves different, which means every market's going to trade different. If you just use VWAP, the same on every market, but reversals are different on certain markets than others, trends are different on certain, then you need to have a volatility component to be incorporated into the VWAP, because the two most important parts of every trading system is volume and volatility. And that's what we did. Sorry if I spelled it wrong. I'm left-handed and I write with a right-hand mouse. You can figure that struggle. Volume and volatility. So what we've done with the VWAPPER is we've created a step algo that allows the VWAP to only change not based off volume. The VWAP can be adjusted based off volatility. Do you notice how there's no VWAP right here? There's no VWAP on price right there. Why? Because the market hasn't moved enough to shift the VWAP algo. So if the market's not moving, the VWAP's not going to populate until we get enough price action to move the volume weighted average price, not just volume. So this is a combination between volatility and volume. And this is what makes every different market different, because every market trades differently. So does everybody understand that? Give me a yes so that kind of makes sense to you. I like to, if you're going to buy a Porsche, I want to teach you why the value of that car is so expensive. I want to teach you why the value of a Porsche is so used. It's such a car enthusiast car. Everybody wants to know what's under the hood, right? So now I want to do is I want to talk about V0, V1, V2, and V3. V0 is VWAP. It's the baseline. V1, V2, and V3 is the standard deviation of the VWAP, which is standard on all VWAP indicators, okay? When you look at the way the system is built, there's two types of trades, reversals and trend trades. So if I've got a VWAP, a V0, that's the standard VWAP. And then I've got V1, V2, and V3, V1, V2, and V3. This is a grid. We've created a volume-weighted volatility grid. Well, EMAs are based off closing price, and they're just, this has nothing to do with EMAs. Yeah, Chad. Maybe, Jim, you could give a difference between EMAs and VWAP for Chad and help Chad out. So V1, V2, V3. V1, V2, V3. So there's three types of systems in the VWAPPER. There's trend systems, there's reversal systems, or there's both. So if you've got trend signals, that's a trend trading approach. If you've got reversals, you've got reversals, but you can do both. So I want you to think logically for a second. I want you to think like a really experienced trader, and I'll explain what that means. If the market's trending, where do you think it's going when it's trending? It's no different than volume profile. When you look at the VWAP, and when you understand the concept of volume weighted average price, a way to understand the concept of no different than a profile. If you've got a volume profile, you've got the point of control, right? As price moves away from the mean, okay, it's called price elasticity. And it's either going to break and it's going to shoot this way, break or shoot this way, or it's going to revert back to the mean. But guess what? That means you could take trend trades away from the mean, and you can take reversal trades back to the mean. Okay, so let's kind of just talk a little bit about what this looks like. The way I've created the trend and reversal combo templates is we will take trend trades from V0. So there'll be a trend trade at V0. We will not take a reversal at V1. You could, if you want to set the templates up this way, you could take reversals at V1 in very, very tight ranges. You'll have a trend system at V1 right here, but you'll have reversal trades at V2 and V3. Why would we want to program reversal trades at V2 and V3 as opposed to trends? Now, you will experience on very, 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 very strong trending days, trends off V2 and V3. But here's the key. Those happen very few and far between. How many times do you see trades or trending days where it's like bypassing the last month's daily range? You only get those days once in a while, like on FOMC or on non-farm payrolls or GDP releases. Well, you can't run a business trading on those types of systems on those types of days for the rest of the month, because that's not normal volatility movement. It's not normal price action. So what we've done with the VWAPPER is we have the ability for the combo templates that we've built, okay, is we've got trend systems going away from the mean and reversal systems going back to the mean at volume weighted average price levels that are dictated by volatility of each independent market. And that works both ways. So if I'm coming down here, trend trade, boom, reversal trade, right? Probably another trend trade, boom, reversal trade, maybe a stop, then reversal, then a win, right? Like we have the ability to take the trend. We can take the trend here again because we're allowed 2 trades per level. We can set it up like this, right? We could take a reversal trade here, a reversal trade here, a reversal trade here. We're not going to take the trend trade here because it's at V2. Okay. And this is what's really cool about the VWAPPER is depending on which way the market's going to go, you can run trend or reversal setups. Now, if you come into the market and you know, for whatever reason, you can see that we're in a very tight inside day range, we're not moving, you can go in and just turn trend signals off. Just turn them off. But if you don't want to, and you want to allow both trend and reversal trades to work, you can run them as a combo template. Now, my job and what Roy's job is going to do is when we move forward into the deployment and after the room is using the system templates and everybody's using the system, we're going to run a different round of testing for just trend trades. And we're going to run a different round of testing for just reversal trades. We're currently running combo testing so that we can allow for both reversal and trends. And that's what the examples I'm going to show you today. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a yes if this makes sense. I wanted to give a breakdown of the system logic so you guys understand the criteria. What do you think? Everybody like it so far? Okay. Perfect. So give me a second, guys, as I clear this off. Let's get back into this for a second. Now, with momentum, you can deploy momentum filters in all of our algos. And we can choose to use momentum filters. I want you to ask yourself a question, though. If you're looking at momentum, okay, if you're looking at momentum, when will momentum be on your side? In trending conditions, right? Momentum is going to be for trend trades. Where will momentum need to be for reversals? Overbought. Overbought and oversold, right? So if we got a reversal, this comes down to an oversold condition, right? Reversals, oversold conditions. So when we implement the system, you have the ability to use the momentum filters according to how you want to run your templates. Meaning if you're looking for trend signals, you would only want to implement momentum filters based off of confluence. You would not want to use overbought and oversold conditions. For reversal trades, you could add an element of testing to your extremes, and you could only take reversals when momentum's at its extremes. And we're going to show you some examples of some trades. Okay. Now, we have the ability to run a lot of different tests with the VWAPPER, probably 10 times more opportunities with the VWAPPER than any other system that we've released, just based off the way that it's been built and designed. And I see some of your questions on templates. I do have a round of templates that will be given to everyone on the VWAPPER coming out the gates. It's a free bonus, as all of you guys are going to want. But I'll get into that at the end of the event, guys. But when it comes to trading systems, the difference with a good trader to a bad trader is testing to deployment and then understanding risk and reward and money management. So we've built in P&L tracking. We've built in the data lag timers so we can test to make sure your data feed is accurate coming in when you're deploying the systems. You've got money management engines, high watermark filters. You can set daily loss limits, daily goals. So if you're somebody that has a hard time ending positive, but you keep trading and giving all your money back, then a high watermark filter will be really good for you. Because after you make a winning trade, you can set your high watermarks to stop you from trading if you give back some of your profits, right? These are really, really powerful things. And it'll block you from trading in wrong environments. Now, why do you think this is important? Because 9 traders out of 10 are just going to listen to whatever somebody tells them, and then it never works for them. My job is to make sure that you don't just listen to what we're telling you. We're here to show you how to use it also for your own benefit. Meaning, if you take your system and you want to test a concept, say you only want to take trend trades at V0, right? And it's a different template. Well, we're going to teach you how to test that. Our training programs allow you to test it. Our instructions show you how to run the back test and show you how to do all those in the back end, right? So you have the ability to run back testing and also compare your reports for live deployment, not just listening to somebody else tell you about it, okay? Now, with trade management, we have the ability to do all in, all out scenarios. You can enter and you can scale out, which means you can have 1, 2, or 3 exits. You can do break evens, trailing stops. You can enter at limit or at market. We have the ability for stop and reverse entries. We also have the ability for determining how many bars to leave the orders active after, and let's say you don't get the fill on the first bar. It will help you with slippage. I'll show you an example with that today. There was a missed trade on one of the signals, and depending on how you set the algo up, you wouldn't have missed that if you didn't. But the key here is that we've built in a very, very robust order management engine. And it's actually only getting better. Just to kind of give you guys some feedback, while we're releasing the VWAPPER and we're also releasing the other algos, I've had a development team redoing an order management engine that's going to be superior for all algos. And when it's ready, we're going to be providing an update to every one of our systems because we've built a more superior order management engine that's going to be state of the art. It takes a long time to do that, but I just want to let you know that we've been doing that in parallel to enhance the trade management execution. So this is some really exciting stuff, and that'll just come as an update. It's not, doesn't cost any money. It'll just be a benefit to using our tools because our team really cares about execution. When you run algos, execution is everything, okay? So here's an example of a long signal. Here's an example of a short signal. It's kind of not really explanatory there. I'll go into some details when we go into the charts. So here's where I'm going to transition into some trade examples. Can you guys tell me if you understood that? Can you guys give me a yes if that made sense to you? It wasn't too overwhelming. I'm sure there's a few noobs in here that are wondering, okay, where do I start? But for those of you that have been in the trading space a little while, did I do a good enough job explaining the logic behind that? Okay. So the question is, how do you make money with it? Well, if I were to just say, here, buy an algo and figure it out, well, that's not really how we run our business, and that's no good for you or me or anybody. So what we've done is I'm going to show you some examples, okay? So I'm going to show you some examples. I want to talk a little bit about 3 markets. Now, when we first launched some of the other systems, a lot of traders gave me some flack. They said, Sean, you know, you're testing all your systems. It looks really profitable, but you're trading on 10 contracts. I don't trade 10 contracts. I don't have that much money or that risk tolerance. So I went back and redid all my testing on small size and small position sizing, because the majority of the traders are trading smaller size. I get that, and I can respect that. Or they're trying to trade for combines, or they're trying to trade for, you know, small accounts or even micros. So just to kind of give you some feedback, is every one of these examples is using 3 contracts with less than $500 risk per trade. Now that's not too little, it's not too large either. It's probably mediocre. And we're going to be running the testing on micros as well once we release this, because we understand there's a lot of traders trading micros. And I just really think it's really important that we do it from both angles. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the S&P today. Okay. I always want to go into the S&P. Now, what do you see the difference here between the Russell? Let's take a look at the Russell's VWAP and take a look at the S&P's VWAP. What's the difference? These are today's trades, Phil. These are today's trades. So these are today's trades and then the last X amount of days. Okay. So the key here is what's the difference? Look at the step. Look at the steps. Look at the VWAP. How does the VWAP look to the Russell versus the S&P? The lines are different. Don't worry about the price action. Look at the lines. So when we ran our optimization, we ran on optimization on the volatility of the VWAP, which means we wanted to test the system. This is what makes the VWAPPER so powerful, is that we tested optimizations to find the best volatility steps for the volume weighted average price, which means we don't just want the volume weighted average price to move based off volume. We want it to move off volume and volatility so that we can optimize each market to its volatility and volume. Very powerful, Roy. Exactly. It's very powerful. Yeah. Now, here's the key. Why would one be different? Because they're different markets. They're different markets. The volatility is different in every market. So that's why the S&P looks different than the Russell. Well, Thomas, and this is a great question. It is complicated for someone if they were to just go and figure it out on their own, but we've done everything for you. You don't need to do anything. So here's the cool part. I'm going to be giving a round of templates that these exact same templates that we have on the charts here. I spent the last 4 weeks optimizing the S&P, crude oil, and the Russell using an entry and a 2 target exit. And you could use 2 contracts or 3 contracts, but minimum would be 2 contracts because it's implementing. I didn't have time, Rich, to do the NQ, buddy. It's the amount of time it takes to test the NQ. I just didn't have the time. So I tried to get as many markets out as possible, but we will test the NQ as we move forward because we do know traders like it. And we will get there eventually. Appreciate your patience on that. So let's just talk about this for a second. Let's just go to today. I'm only running my tests for trade room hours. So if you take a look at this, do you notice how the VWAP didn't have any levels here? It's because the step size didn't update enough in volatility to shift the volume weighted average price. We'll test gold as well, Richard, eventually. Yeah, we just wanted to get the 3 primaries. The 3 most actively traded markets in our algo community is the S&P, crude oil, and the Russell. And then it goes into the NASDAQ and the gold. So that's why we wanted these markets first. So let me kind of explain a few things. If we just go to today, that would have been today at 6 o'clock my time, which is 8 o'clock Eastern. Okay, so that green line represents the starting permission of my algo templates. I have it programmed to only start trading from 8 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern time, which is the morning trade room session. So the market opened, in the template opened, and then basically you look at here how this is the VWAP not moving. Do you notice this? And then all of a sudden, boom, volatility shifted enough for the VWAP step to kick in, which now gives us our grid. Okay. And so any of your questions, guys, I'll tend to them after. I just want to show the examples. So here's the key. Now I'm running a combo template. So if I go into the strategies for a second, I'm going to explain how this is set up. Inside the settings, if you look, I'm running, this is the engine that's going to be the driving force. Right here. V0, V1, V2, V3. This is everything. Trend at VWAP, trend at the standard deviation 1, reversal at 2, and reversal at 3. So what does that mean? That means if I'm running a combo template, if I get a level to react here, that's going to be a reversal. If I get a level there, that's a trend. If I get a reversal here, that's a reversal. If I get that's a trend. Trend, 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 reversal, 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 reversal. Does everybody understand this? So what do you think this is powerful? Because you can have both a trend trade and a reversal trade, or you could just have reversal trades or just trend trades. Okay. So as the market came down, it's now engaging. There's the signal for the long on the reversal. Okay. Do you see how it went yellow like that? Because that was a missed fill. Now you can change the settings to allow for a more bigger grace period before pulling the order. Because sometimes if the market comes back like this just here, you could have got filled on that downtick. However, it gave a second signal. So even though the first trade missed, you would have still only had one trade here, because if you had a different setting, you would have been filled on this one, not this one, but it's the same price point. So either way, you caught this trade. And this is the S&P today coming into the pre-market. This target is target 1, stop is here, target 2 is here. There's an automatic move to break even. There's T2, okay? Now, how do I know to move my stop here? Well, there's a lot of testing that went in for this template, and we update our templates. We'll talk about that. And so just so you understand, these base templates, I have no momentum filters engaged. This is simply volatility and volume templates. We will run around to templates using momentum. However, we wanted to get out the gates, the base level templates off the levels and volume and volatility first. We will run another round of momentum integration. Okay, so there's a reversal. Why is that a reversal? Because that's a trend trade. You would say, well, what do you mean? It's not a reversal, it's a trend. Look, V0, V1, V2, V3. Even though it's a short, you say, well, it's a reversal. No, it's a trend trade. Anything away from VWAP is trend. Anything to VWAP is reversal. Okay, so there's the reversal. Quick little stop out, on to the next. Didn't want to give the reversal. We're going to wait for it. There's the next trend trade. Okay, that's the trend trade at VWAP. That's the primary VWAP. T1, T2. Okay, this is today. There's what trade is that, guys? Tell me what kind of a trade this is. Can you guys identify this? Is this a trend or a reversal signal? It's a trend, Joe says. Absolutely. Why? Because it's going away from VWAP. It's going away from VWAP. It's going from the mean to the outer bands. Hit the break even, didn't hit the second target. Okay. This one here hit the first target, moved to break even, and then this one hit the first target, and then this one was interesting. It missed my break even trigger by 1 tick. This was a 1 tick fail, and or there it is right there. It actually, no, it did move the break even. Excuse me. It did move the break even. So the break even was engaged here. So this is the parameters. Now I want to talk to you about this for a second. If I were to just do a breakdown of the performance, this is not some fancy back test or anything like this. I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about, you know, the work I've done for the past 4 weeks in bed, mind you, coming out of surgery. I wanted to make sure this release was solid. I'm not trying to pump big back tests. I don't believe in pumping big back tests because I think that it's not real trading. But what does a good back test do for you guys? I know what it does for me. It gives me the comfort of knowing I can let the algo go and I can let it run. How many of you guys back test? Anybody in here that trades discretionarily? How many of you guys have ever back tested 138 of your trades? How many of you guys have sat there and gone back 1 trade at a time? And just give me a yes or a no. Have you ever done this? Have you ever gone back and done more than 138 of your own trades? No. Kevin does. Kevin's a special breed, brother. You're like us. Nick says no. Kelly says no. The reason for this is because it's a lot of work. This is the difference between discretionary trading. So my job is to not have some perfect back test. My job is to have a large enough sample size for me to trust it as a day trader. Now I'm gonna kill a worm here for a second, and I'm gonna talk the difference between time. I'll look at the Russell in a second here. Time versus number of trades. And this is something that a lot of traders don't understand. So anybody in here, if you ever see some random person in a Discord say, hey, run that back test over the last 6 months, and you're a day trader, I want you to block that guy from you because he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I'm going to explain a few things. You have a day trader and you have a swing trader. Okay. Which one is more important to the day trader? Time or number of trades? Lisa says number of trades. Okay, so let's just put here number of trades. Which one is more important to the swing trader? Time. Majority of you guys got that right. I'm impressed. I'm going to explain why. You're going to have less trades as a swing trader. So you want to make sure that the trades that you have is spread out over a large enough period of time that you have the starting period to the finishing period, you have a number of trades. How many of you guys think is a lot of trades? 50? 100? When's the last time you logged 100 of your trades? Think about this for a second. Like, really think about this. Right. So what I normally do as a day trader is this has been my baseline for this premise on testing, is I don't care if I'm testing 2 weeks or 2 months as a day trader. I want a minimum of 100 trades. Why? Because I want to see number of trades per day. How many activities am I getting on a daily basis? That gives me an estimate of how much commissions I'm paying and the frequency of the trade system, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll give you an example why this is important. I don't want to test 6 months. Why do you think, as a day trader, why do you think testing 6 months is a very, very inexperienced way of doing things? Because what happened 6 months ago is not happening right now. The majority, the averages are skewed, the market changes, the volatility changes. You're not a swing trader, you're a day trader. So from now on, guys, if anybody in here builds a template or creates a strategy component of the VWAPPER or any other algo at that, and you got a winning back test, and then some random inexperienced trader who thinks they know what they're talking about tries to tell you, well, it's not enough time, don't listen to this because they don't know what they're talking about. I'm here to tell you that if you're a day trader and you run your tests with at least 100 trades or more, that's enough for you to want to trust what you're doing in live markets with a whole lot more certainty than someone who has never back tested or even logged their trades. Okay. Now, a couple of key factors: win percentage to overall R multiple on the system setup. Profit factor is a gauge of net profit to your drawdown. Okay. And the average trade is your average trade expectancy based off of every trade. Okay. Now, this is an average of 10 trades. Cut that in half because it's fills to closes. Yeah, it's pretty strong. It's a very strong back test. It's the S&P. And, had a little bit of a starting point, kicked in. But this is since last month to now. It's almost a month of trading, right? And we had a little bit of drawdown the last couple of days, been pumping pretty good, right? Which is great. Okay. Out of these entire days, you only had 1, 2, 3 losing days on the S&P. And this is implementing trades of trend and reversals. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but it's only $430 risk per trade. Okay. Now, if you're wondering the stops and targets on this template, okay, stops and targets, just so you understand, you could change the money management around too. You could go into 1 and 1, or you could put 2 and 1. I have it set to 1 and 2 right now. So if it does kick into a bigger trade, I get more money on my second exit. Stop loss is 22. First target is I'm peeling 13 ticks off, and then I'm waiting for a bigger runner. Okay. I'm only testing between 6 a.m. to noon, or so that's 8 a.m. to noon Eastern time. And that's it. Okay. That's this template. Now, the key here is the step on the S&P is very large. So what we came back, we found is the step size, the volatility size was much larger on the S&P than on the Russell and crude oil. That might change when we do an all-in, all-out test, because I know 3 contracts, Rich, that's 3 contracts. Yeah. This test is running 3 contracts. I could drop that down to 2 and you'll see the risk per trade will be a little less, but the performance will still be quite simple, right? Pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's take a look at so let's take a look at the Russell. How many of you guys trade the Russell for a second? This one's a little bit more smaller step sizes, so the volume will shift a little bit more. And let's take a look here. Let's look at yesterday and we'll look at today. So this was yesterday. So you're going to see here that the VWAP moved in the overnight session. Okay, but I blocked all trades because I wasn't running the template. And this green line is the start. Yeah, it's very good risk for 3 contracts, Rich. Yeah. So the key here is there's the starting point. Okay, and it fired an entry right at the start of the session because just by random chance, this fired the reversal at V2 at V1, no V2, excuse me, and it hit T1. It didn't take the short because I was already long the reversal, and it kicked me out at the second exit. So I took 1 target and I got kicked out. Now I don't have a break even trigger on the Russell. You could implement one. I just found that it didn't really help the back test that much, but it really is a matter of traders choosing to take risk off the table as soon as possible or whatnot. And then let's take a look. There's a long here. Came in. Okay, same thing here. Took target and then stopped out on the second one. Took another one, target, stop. So this one was trying to fight the reversals. And this is where we're making a bit of money on the first target, but I wasn't getting the follow through to the big moves off the reversals. So it was going into a trend. Now, how do we know that? You don't know that if the market's going to start trending. So there's a reversal, and then there was another one came up. Now, could you take risk off the table on this one? Absolutely. Could you take risk off the table on the Russell? Do you need to leave yourself exposed to risk waiting for a bigger target like that? You don't. I just don't have a break even on this template. Okay. And that was yesterday. Okay. There's another short. Okay. T1 kicked on the runner, another short. This one here took the big target here as well. And there was another short. This one took the big target. So we had we had a couple kickouts and then basically some really big trades once the market started trending. And in a strong trend like this, what you can do is if you realize that you don't get the reversal right off, yeah, it's hard on the FOMC day, Steve, but here's the key. If you're in a really environment, this is really important for traders. If the first reversal doesn't pull through, you have the ability to say, you know what, we're blowing through the lows. We can turn the reversals off and just engage in the trend trades. And that's just using that as a little bit of an example of conditions. Remember, this is a combo template. This is a combo template. So let's take a look at today on the Russell. So that was yesterday. There was another template that came in. See, this one came all the way down and then kicked out on the second contract. So it was a flush trade. So you make your money and then you give a little bit back, but you're not losing any money on that. Okay. So let's see, here's today. See how the volatility step is much narrower. Okay. Much narrower. Let's wait for the signal. There's the opening of the system. Okay. So now I'm going to wait for, there's a long, didn't get the fill on a 2-bar fill. Okay. So this one missed the fill. This one got the long. And this is a great example of a trending condition. So this one's taking the lows on the reversal. However, it's not lifting off the first reversal. So you could even choose to bypass taking any more reversals. That yellow tells us that you missed the fill. It was a missed fill. Okay. So this one here had a stop out and then another small stop out. And then this one is another big trade here for a win. There's a big trend trade for another big win. So this is the Russell. Gave a little bit of profit away at the beginning, made it all back in the morning. after that, and then it missed out on this one here. Took target one and kicked out on the second, so it was a break-even trade essentially. And there's some big shorts for the trend trade that happened going into the beginning of the event. So this was the last trade that just happened on the Russell. Now, my suggestion is that when we run this, I'm going to run another round of testing on some of these markets using all in, all out scenarios. This is multiple exit scenarios. I like to test both multiple targets and multiple exits, etc. Right? So here's crude oil. And if you look at the Russell, we could take a look at the statistics on the Russell just over the past, several days. This is the, this has a lot more trades because it's a Russell. Same time period. I mean, you're running probably close to 3 weeks, close to 60% hit rate with a 1-to-1 R multiple. Okay, now I don't have any break evens on this, and this is not filtering trend or reversal. This is both trend or reversal. So you could literally run the same settings and turn off reversals or turn off trends if I were to just, and you could basically see that for yourself when you run the system templates. Same thing with crude oil. Crude had a little bit of a tougher time on the reversals this morning. It kicked out on T1, got kicked out on the second target. This one here had a stop, but this was a nice reversal off the lows to end the day, right? So it was pretty much a flush day. This was a stop, half win, stop, big win, etc. Right? This was yesterday. This was yesterday when we ran crude oil. So this was the open of yesterday. Right off the open, we took a long as soon as the market opened up. I mean, you can run your templates however long you want to. I'm just running the back test for these examples for the trade room because we're going to be using these in the trading room, and I just wanted to show you some examples of the trading room environment. Does that make sense? So here's the long off the crude oil yesterday. There was the short off V1. There was the reversal off V2. And then see how I don't have a break-even trigger engaged. So I could engage my break-even after T1. It'll drop your P&L a bit, but it'll increase your win rate. And it'll also keep risk off the table. With such tight stops, right? With such tight stops, because everybody's saying, Sean, I want you to test smaller stops and targets. So when I do that, you have to understand testing. When you start tightening your risk, you still got to leave the market some room to breathe. If you always move your stop too soon, you miss out on a lot of the moves, right? So there's a pro and a con to everything. But here was a reversal win, trend win, reversal half win, trend win, trend win. This was yesterday on crude oil. And then that was the end of the day. Now, I have it set to only taking 2 trades signals per. If I were to increase this, if I were to increase the time period a little bit, maybe to say 1 o'clock, I would have taken the short would have worked there as well. But it didn't fire because the templates turned off before that short trade. If I increase the time on this by say 5-10 minutes, that short would have triggered for another win going into the close of the session. But it's your call. You can run these templates however you choose to. Okay. What do you guys think? Give me a yes. It's exciting. I mean, this is just the first round of templates. A couple questions. I'll get into questions in a minute here, guys. I just wanted to really spend some time explaining this because I'll tell you the best thing that we've experienced. We've got a lot of traders in the algo room. Okay. And traders, we spend a lot of time testing. When something doesn't work, we fix it right away. We spend a lot of time optimizing so that we can build more trust. We originally started with larger stops and targets. We had a huge request by the community to say, can you run another round of tests for smaller stops and targets? Can you also run a new round of tests for smaller size, right? For those of you that are, trading smaller contract size. We will run tests on the micros. Okay, we will run tests on the micros. And when I say this is the first round, I'll give you an example. We're going to give everybody these 3 templates who uses the VWAPPER right out the gate. So anybody here decides to purchase the VWAPPER, I'm going to give you the last four weeks of optimization templates and when you purchase the software, so you guys have really ready-made built templates for these 3 markets right out the gates. For those of you that know the benefit of the Algo Trade Room is we do ongoing testing. And yeah, no problem, Richard. You'll get that email. You'll get it out today. No problem. Anybody that's in the Algo Trading Room using these ongoing with us, you'll benefit from the newer templates and the updated modifications or any changes, because what we do is we run around and testing to give you some context of the work that's been gone into the release of this. I'll give you an example of what this looks like. So when I run this, and I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed by this, but what you're seeing here is this. You're seeing this section over here. I just demonstrated these 3 templates for the VWAPPER. Okay. Now, how did I find out that the BXT 714, 1332, and 714.4 were the best bar types? Because I literally ran optimizations on every single variable. So this is what you don't get, right, when you just buy some random systems out there on the web from an influencer. Like, we're really testing. You can even see these 2 market timeframes were good, but they weren't as good as the 714.4. So when we talk about providing templates, this took me 4 weeks to fine tune these 3 markets. But 4 weeks of work, giving it to everyone in here, is going to give you guys a strong foundation to stand on when you deploy algos without having to try to figure things out right away. And then if you want new templates ongoing, we'll be running these in parallel. And what we do in the Algo Trading Room, for those of you that are using the algos with us, is you can have access to this document, and you can go in here and you can click and you can see the actual test parameters of everything that we've basically produced, so that it's available to you and you understand the dynamics of the system. Right. And this is the benefit of the Algo Trade Room alongside the algos. So we'll give you these templates just out the gates, because we did that for the Delta Algo. We also did that for the Trend Stepper, and we want everybody to have something strong to use right away. But if you want any of the newer templates, then I strongly suggest joining Roy and the team in the Algo Trade Room ongoing, because we're going to be using this in combination with some of the other systems. Give me a yes, that makes sense to you. You understand that? Everybody's good to go? Fantastic. So I'm going to go in here and pull this up, because I got some fun stuff. Did you guys enjoy those examples? How many of you guys would like to win a free system? I know the answer to that, so don't put yes in here yet, because I'm going to run a poll here. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity. Everybody who's been here, several hundred traders in here right now, which is fantastic. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to enter, and that way you guys can get a free license, whoever wins. One lucky winner will win on ready, set, and go. So fill in the poll. For those of you that are wondering on Forex, great question. We wanted to get futures out the gates first and then do Forex second. And our priority was to have a combination of both trend and reversal systems available, so that you're not just trading trend systems, and you have the ability to trade both trend and reversal systems. And then we can run tests on both types of markets, both futures and Forex, et cetera. Yeah. So traders, I'm going to let this poll run for another few minutes. It's available today. You can buy it today and ongoing. You're definitely going to want to buy it today, because we only reserve launch pricing once. So you'll never get this discount ever again. And we always do that for the release of new products. It's just been our mandate since the inception of the company. We always like to pass the savings on product releases and launches. And then ongoing, it'll be more expensive. Okay. So we sell, so Gregory was asking a great question. I'll answer your questions in a minute, guys. Yeah, so the algos cost you a purchase, and then you can subscribe to the algo trading room for 4 days a week, and where we run the algos. Yeah. Or you could subscribe to the algo trading room and don't buy any algos, but that you don't have any systems to trade. Yeah. Yeah. Not a problem, Chad. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to end the poll in 3, 2, 1. So for those of you that answered, we'll send out their winning. We'll send out the winner. Ashley will send that out via email. So one lucky winner in here will win. Here's something I do want to point out. If you buy today because you want to get it set up and ready for tomorrow and tonight, and you become the winner, we will refund your purchase. I mean, obviously that's without saying, right? I'm just letting you know. So if you purchase today and you end up becoming that lucky winner chicken dinner, and Santa's favoring you early, then we'll make sure we refund that money immediately. Okay. So, and the poll. Perfect. So guys, I'm going to go into the pricing and then we're going to go into questions. Okay. So just right out the gates, normally we'll retail the system at $39.95. We're dropping it to $9.95. Don't ask for this deal ever again. Don't emailing saying, you know, I wasn't sure, I wasn't, we're doing a huge price drop. Okay. Huge price drop for the VWAPPER because it is it's been one of the most requested systems that we've ever built. And it's probably the biggest problem solver because it's I think it's going to be one system to rule them all because it trades both trend and reversals. That's just my experience. And what do I know? I've only built 50 of your products. It's been sold across 5 platforms, but hey, take it with a grain of salt. This system allows for both. Now, we will provide updates. All the detailed user documentation. We've got a huge documentation for this. And we've got huge training videos on this. You get 2 computer licenses. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to post the link in the chat box here. Give me 1 second. There it is. So there's the link. Okay. And you get it for a main computer, a backup computer, and we give you a best practices setup guide. We also have a VIP system optimizations cheat sheets, best parameters and fractals cheat sheets. It's only available on Ninja 8 because the type of systems that we build require custom coding and flexibility. So if you're using other platforms, I'm sorry, it's just most other platforms don't allow for us to build these types of systems on them because they're too restrictive with their code language. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to run another poll and then I'm going to go into questions. I probably have a conflicting expiry date in here. Maybe that's it's probably a typo, guys. We apologize for something. You know, we're not perfect. Yeah, it doesn't say Sunday. It's sale ends Thursday. So my team probably worked late and they forgot to update it. Yeah, the sale ends Thursday. So let me fix that. There we go. Thursday. Okay. So I'll go into your questions now, guys. Give me 1 second. I want to run a poll here. I need to know where you're at because I need to let my team know who's doing it and who's Johnny on it. I need to know what's going on here. So give me a yes, no, maybe so. Let me know if you're in it to win it. You're not sure, if you need help, right? One of the questions, you know, I need to know because the reason I'm sharing this is I need my team to know exactly who to help and who not to help, etc. The key here is if you're somebody that is wondering, like if you're just trading trend systems, or maybe you bought one of the other algos and you're just trying to force that system to work in all conditions, don't, because they're only going to work in trend systems. They're only going to basically work in trending conditions. So if you're trying to trade all market conditions, you're not going to do that in a trend trading system. So if you're just forcing yourself on a delta algo or a trend stepper to hopefully make money on reversal days, good luck. It's not happening, right? It's not designed that way. Most systems won't work that way. Okay. So, and this is the only time we're going to release launch pricing. So if you're looking to get involved and you're looking to take advantage, if you're saying not sure yet, let us know how we can answer your questions. If you have questions, we will contact you for those of you that are in, okay? Yeah, it works on every market conditions. That's the important part. This will trump the delta algo or the trend stepper. Yeah, when I run back tests on the trend stepper and I run back tests on the delta algo, I get a much better return on investment when I see the profit per contracts than I do on the other systems. How did I know that? I didn't know that. We hadn't built the VWAPPER before. We had the other systems out. The other systems are great, but they're not reversal systems either. They're trend systems. So unfortunately, anybody in here that's using the other systems in a reversal day, you're going to get crushed. I'm sorry, but that's just the way the market works. Okay. And the goal here is to make sure that you have a tool to be able to use it in all market conditions, trend and momentum. Okay. And so let me go through some of your questions, guys. I know there's a lot of them. Okay. So bear with me, guys. You have till Thursday to get the discount. After that, don't ask, too bad, so sad. So take advantage of it while you have it. So bear with me, guys. I'm just going to read through your questions here, guys. Bear with me as I go down.
Hey, Sean, Jim here. I think we're mostly up to date on the questions. I've been kind of typing away as we go here, but if you see any more recent ones, we can attack those for sure.
Excellent. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Just reading through them. Anything that I see that stands out. We don't offer payment plans, guys. It's an all-in purchase on the discount. We're giving you $3,000 off. It's a lot of money. So we build the templates for you on the write out. So you will get the templates. You will get the 3 templates for the S&P, the Russell, and crude oil. And then any of the ongoing template modifications and stuff is part of our algo trading room. So if you're in the algo trading room, you're going to want to be a part of that to get the ongoing modifications. These templates were built by me. Roy's also doing the micros right now. Okay. Casey's asking a great question. How many trades does it take? It depends on the system. I could just give you an example on these system templates. If I just look at the S&P, on average, you cut this in half. So you're looking at 10 trades, about 5 trades a day. So on the S&P, you're getting about 5 trades in the morning session, right? The morning session. Okay, which is good. On the S&P, crude oil, let's take a look at just these last setups. You're looking at the same thing, about 10 trades. That's all in, that's entry and exit. So about 5 trades a day. And that's just it's just the morning. 5 trades on the S&P. Let's see on the Russell is going to be more, obviously. And I'm just going off the data over the last month of trading. Yeah, you're about 7 trades per day on the Russell. Yeah, that's a lot of trades, guys. I don't think you're taking that as a discretionary trader. I know that for sure. So you can trade both trends and reversals. We will be testing new templates on trends and reversals. Let's go down here. Thanks. But in a volatile environment, trailing stock can be totally a bust and have Exactly. So using trailing stops and break evens is a fine art. It's a science, and it really depends on conditions. So that's why we test both. We test both, and we have the ability to run that. Here's a great example of the Russell. If I didn't stop my template, at the time it stopped, this trade took its exit, I would have got my reversal here, and that would, like, if I go in and I change that to just a little bit longer, you would be firing a reversal here right now live on the Russell. So let's just take a look at that. Let's go in and show you exactly what that looks like. I'm just going to extend the template out maybe 11 to 12. So let's just go down just a little bit just to see what it looks like. It might change the back test a little bit depending on the prior days, right? Depending on the prior days. So let's go up here and let's run this. Because the S&P and the Russell trade more actively in the afternoon than, say, crude oil. So that'd be something to consider. Okay. So let this load here for a second, guys. Promotion ends Thursday. Herman saying, Sean, it looks like you have improved the algo. Yeah, so it slightly dropped the P&L a little bit because maybe some of the other prior trading sessions didn't have that price action today. But if you look at today's price action, look at how it took that reversal here right off the lows. So it's, you know, just understanding that. I mean, this is just the Russell today. Stop out here, small stop out here, really big trade here, half of a win, half of a loss. So it's a flush trade, huge short here, huge reversal here. And that's why today's market trades was much more profitable on the Russell, right? Just depends on how you want to set your templates. Okay. So everybody in here that said they're not sure and you have questions, Jim's going to be following up with you specifically. My team is going to be contacting you over the next 2 days so that we can help address any of your questions. We can go over any details, any special circumstances, et cetera, et cetera. Many of you guys have been trading with us for a long time. We want to make sure that we help you. And can you set contract size to percentage of equity? Yes, you can. You can set a percentage of your equity based off money management. Yep. So Charles says, I bought an automated system last week and it is trash. Exactly, Charles. I can assure you that's the difference between NeuroStreet and the industry. And we can put you in touch with 100 other algo traders. Just come in on a guest pass into our algo trade room and you'll be able to hear them and they're going to show you because we trade it live in our rooms. That's the difference between us and every other algo community, is that we run the algos in a trading room. That's a serious level of trust in the systems, right? There's a lot of other people that just sell you an automated system and then they just hide behind a website because they don't perform long-term, so they can't back it up. So Sean, do you have to tell the algo what direction, like delta, trend separate, long or short? No, because you can just turn it to trend or reversal or run a combo template. These are combo templates. So it's going to take trends in the trend trades. It's going to take reversals in reversals. And if the market's trading down, it's going to trend down and then take the longs on the reversals. If the market's trading up, it's going to trend up and take the reversals on the shorts. So this is the best part about the VWAPPER, is it's not going to force you to have to do what the other trends. The only reason we do that on the trend systems is because you have to. You can't force a trend system to perform in a non-trending market. And that's why I spent so much time getting this to market, is because I really feel that it's necessary. It's the biggest problem solver. So all of you not sure yet's in here, I can assure you that this is the most, probably the most important system we'll ever produce out of the last 3. Yeah. How long will it take to fine tune the algo, Delta? Yeah, Raj, it's ready to go right now. Roy's going to be running these in the rooms. Yeah, there's no time. Yeah, and then any new testing templates will be ongoing on the back end while we update them ongoing. It's part of our community. You can use any time frame you want, Hassan. Absolutely. Yeah, we provide updates, Charles, on these. We don't charge for updates on the algos. No. Sean and Jim, attack my question, please. Not sure. Maybe Lee, not sure if we answered it or not. But yeah, but Robert, send an email in and Ashley can take care of you. If you're an Algo Trade Room member and you've got specific questions, or if you feel that you have a few things you want to answer, just send an email in and we'll take care of you. Not a problem, guys. Support and trade room timing. I'm not sure what you mean by that, George, but we got you covered on both. We've got great support, and we run a trade room 4 days a week. Trade room pricing. Trade room pricing is on the website, and the Algo trade room is there. So you see here, this would have fired a trend trade right now. We would be long the S&P if we didn't stop the markets. We would be long the S&P on this trend trade right here. So if I go into the S&P and I just turn this off for a second and I extend the timeout a little bit, might change the back test a little bit, but I'll explain the difference between running the templates. So my time is 1:30. So that might change the results overall. Like I said, you know, we've ran these tests. 13:30, that's 1:30. Yeah, that's my time. So we'll see what that does. It might reduce the P&L long term, but it's going to show you the example of the live trade now. We'll see. Let me just run these questions down, guys. Appreciate your patience. Yeah, buying power and margin is completely responsible to your own accounts and your margin rates. I'm not sure how much money you're trading with, so just make sure you have enough maintenance margin to take multiple trades. So friend can you set percentage equity to risk for each instrument? Well, we don't have position sizing built in, but we have money management filters built in. So you would need to calculate average risk per trade and update your contract size. Yeah. Okay, not a problem, Rich. James says, I got burned in the past on algos. Give it a shot. It's a different experience. Just remember this, you know, it's kind of like when you try a diet. Just because one diet didn't work doesn't mean you don't want to give up on the rest of your health, right? And a lot of times it's about finding, take a look at that. Wow, did that ever change the profit and loss? Just by increasing the time on the S&P by another hour and a half, look what it did over the last, it almost added an extra 10K of profit on the S&P by just engaging an extra hour and a half of trading, right? So this is the S&P right now. We're live in it. This is a live trade here. It's fired a long trend. It's already hit T1. It's on its way to T2. You can see up unrealized P&L running at 550. Okay. So the great example. Great example. So look at this. The break even on the S is awesome because it kicks in your first target and then it moves your stop to break even. Because the way the S&P trades, it's really like that. But we'll see if it runs up to T2. Okay, so we'll leave that running while we're answering questions. We will be testing Forex. It's been, I'm not sure about our trader feed, but it's, yes, we're using the latest version of NinjaTrader 8. We will trade and test the S&P. We will trade and test. We will test the NASDAQ. Yeah. Yeah. Algo Trade Room and Algos are two different purchases. The Algo Trade Room is a monthly subscription for the classroom and the course, and the Algos are the Algos. You need to buy the Algo outright. Yeah. Potentially adding position size. The main priority was the engine algo rewrites, meaning we update the execution algos so that it just becomes more, you know, just better code, you know, infrastructure is better, right? Yeah, you can walk forward, optimize absolutely in Ninja. There is a break-even trail on this, but there is no trailing stop engaged on this template. But we have automatic break-evens engaged. You can run a trailing stop. Absolutely, you can run a trailing stop. The break-even can trail, Rich. Yeah, absolutely. You can run a trailing stop. You can run a break-even and then a trail. You can run both. The bar size is on here. Let's see if it hits the target. Let's go. Let's go. The bar size is a 7 tick Renko, 14 tick reversal, 4 tick offset. It was the best bar type. The Algo trading room, Ashley, if you want to give a discounted price for the Algo trade room, drop a link in for the Algo trade room for anybody, or just email us and we'll get that taken care of, Deborah. Yeah. Well, that increases the, this is the S&P, guys. This is like, I say this on a lot. I'm going to just tell you my thoughts. I like the S&P for algo trading. I find it to be the best back testing system across. This is me. What do I know? I only built the tools. But I have found time and time and again, the S&P to be the best market across everything. Every system I've ever built, I find the S&P to be the strongest. So if you were to take your opportunity and you want to just run an algo right out the gates while you're learning, getting everything organized, okay? Just trade the S&P for now. And I really like the algo template on the S&P for the VWAPPER because I like how the market responds to the automatic break-even templates. Some markets like the Russell and the crude oil are good, but there's no comparison, okay, based off multiple exits on this. So I'm just letting you know that if I were you, okay, if I were you, I mean, I don't know about you, but this is almost a 1-to-1 R multiple, almost a 1-to-1 R multiple on the full trade, okay, with a 74% win rate over the last 180 trades. I guarantee you that not one of you is trading that well as a discretionary trader. I don't care who you are. Show me your back tests and show me your P&L statements and show me your trade logs. If you can beat this as a discretionary trader, I'll give you a free algo. Yeah, guarantee you're not doing it. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you've been trading 10 years. If you think you're the best in the room, it's not happening. 74% hit rate with a 2.4 profit factor. So here's the key, guys. My strong suggestion is take advantage of the VWAPPER, run it on the S&P first. There, just hit target. That's the S&P P&L statement on a 3 contract trades. 3 contracts over the past 20 days. 3 contracts. 3 contracts. Risking on every trade $435.75. Okay. So if you wanted to change the position sizing, and you wanted to stagger the way you scale in and scale out, you could front run your first target with more size or back run your second target with more size, depending how you want. Okay. But I can assure you this, that the S&P is by far my favorite template because the stops are tight and the break even and the profit and all that works really well. Like, even though these trades didn't give the follow through to T2, you took T1 and took a break even, took T1, take a break even, took T1, take a break even, took T1 and T2, took T1 break even, almost hit T2 over here. Okay. This one here took T1 and T2. This one, T1 and T2. This one had a stop out. I had a killer day on the S&P today. Killer day. This is the S&P today. Killer day. Okay. So everybody in here that's not sure or has questions and you want help Jim and my team and Ashley and I I'm going back to bed because I just got to surgery, guys. I need my rest. So to be honest with you guys, I feel a bit tired. I feel a bit drained, need to eat. Blood sugar's a little low. And I just really wanted to be here for you guys because I've been spending, I spent 4 weeks optimizing templates in bed. And I'm just sharing with you guys personal love for the business. I really care about what you guys use and I care about you guys and the success of our users. And I just want to make sure you guys succeed. I really care about you guys making money. I really care about, passing combines. You could run this system in a combine, no problem. You could even drop it to 2 contracts. So let me just show you what it's like just to do 2 contracts, kind of give you guys some perspective here. So let's just say you want to trade 2 contracts, okay? S&P 2 contracts, same template. So we're not 1 contract and 1 contract. One and one, so two lots. Trading 2 lots for a combine, this is serious, okay? 2 lots for a combine is very, very doable. Very, very doable, okay? This is trading the morning of the US session up until lunchtime. Let's see what the S&P would be doing. Could you pass a combine just running this algo? I truly think you could. I truly, truly believe that because I've never seen the S&P so stable on small size. And it accommodates both reversals and trends. And I've tested the hell out of systems. I've tested Delta Algo. I've tested Trend Stepper. I spent months working with Roy to make sure he understands the testing process for the algo trade room. And I can assure you this, that having trends and reversals is critical. Critical. So we're going to let this run. It's calculating here. See, we would have missed the trend trade short if you were running. No, it wouldn't have done it. Wouldn't have hit it. If this comes up and tags that VWAP, that would have been a trend trade right there. Same thing on the crude oil. The crude oil would have came in. You would have had a trend trade short right here on this one here, not on the first one, but you would have had a trend trade short here on crude oil. You'd be live crude short right there as well. So even. So this is critical. Even just trading 2 contracts. 2 contracts. Two contract trades, risking $278 per trade. That is a very, very, very doable risk model for combine traders. How many of you guys are trying to pass combines or trying to get funded as a prop firm trader? You could run this and easily fund yourself as a prop trader at $278 per trade without having to be the best trader. You just turn it on, run it in the mornings, turn it off, join the trade room, right? I'm a 3 contract limit. Well, this only needs 2 and it's at 74% win rate with a 2.3 profit factor. And since the start date was November 24th. So what's that? November 24th was here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days. Does that make sense? 14 days, maybe a little bit more, 24 to 14. Yeah, 14 trading days, 2 weeks of trading. So if you're having a hard time passing combines, getting funded, let the algo help you. I mean that seriously. With the with the Delta Algo, with the Trend Stepper, I love them in trending markets. I love the VWAPPER in all markets. That's the difference. So now you're not sitting there putting so much stress on yourself to be deciding, well, hope my system's going to hope the market trends today. I hope the market trends today. You get the hopes and the right. Exactly, guys. How many of you guys are excited? Give me a yes. I want to know how many of you guys are excited. I want to know. And I think that's it. I need to take a break, guys. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Once again, the sale ends Thursday. Do yourself a favor. Get a system that can be used in all conditions. And if you don't want to trade your own money, just roll it for a combine. get funded, and crush the markets. Okay, Roy, what do you think, buddy? You on the mic? I don't know if Roy's still here or not. If Roy's here, maybe he is, but not sure. Oh, you are. Anyways, if you got your mic, you can come on here and talk to the crowd a little bit. You're going to be running the trade room here, and you're going to be running with the the algos. Tell me, are you from a moderator's perspective? You've been waiting for this yourself.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the trending systems work great when the markets are trending, but we need the system for those days when they're oscillating. So really excited to be trading this in the trade room. It's going to open up some more opportunities for some more trades in those environments where the trending systems, we're not getting those fills. So yeah, really excited. We'll be running them tomorrow morning, and we'll get to see them live in action.
I think just as a word of caution, or even just as a preliminary, I think probably the best way, traders, just so you guys know Roy's and mine's mindset on this is we're not trying to trade 50 different markets on 50 different systems. But I think tomorrow the best route will be to trade the S&P out the gates, just as a base minimum on the VWAPPER to get everybody's bearings, asking questions. I'm sure a lot of traders. Next week, we can probably open it up on a couple more markets. And then as the Christmas holidays kick in, we'll do our testing on the micros so that we can come into January prepared for micro templates and also regular size contracts as well. Yeah. So traders, I hope you enjoyed the event. If you have any more questions, my team is an email and a phone call away. Thank you so much for being here. Your attendance is always appreciated, and I really hope that you guys enjoy what you see here. My team and I salute you, and I welcome you guys into the algo community. We really put a lot of work into this, and I really hope that you guys see that, and we hope you guys can crush the markets. If you could do me a favor, if you run the algos tomorrow, and for those of you that have bought the algos, can you do me a favor and send some screenshots of your trades and your winning trades and stuff? You're going to crush the markets. I already know that because I've been testing these systems and I know which ones are strongest and in what conditions. And just promise me you'll send us in a couple screenshots and some happy thoughts when you guys are raking in some bacon. That'd be great. Take care, traders, and have a fantastic rest of your day.